What is up, guys? Welcome back. We got a baseball video for you today. This is a box of 1987 Donruss, and I debated for a while if I should just buy a box at a somewhat lower price or put in a little bit of extra money and get it from the baseball card exchange. If you are not familiar with baseball card exchange, it's basically authenticating. This company authenticates that this box has not been tampered with, because these old wax packs were really easy to reseal, and with 1987, there's some decent rookies in here. Barry Bonds, Bo Jackson, Greg Maddux. So sure, people may tamper with it, but I thought, I'll spend a little bit extra, and I actually got this at a good price. I cannot remember. It's been a little while. It's been on my shelf for a little while. I cannot remember what I paid for it, but I remember when I saw it, I grabbed it right away because I said, okay, for BBCE, that's actually a really good price. It was a little more than buying it, non-authenticated, but like I said, I just didn't want to take the chance of this thing being tampered with. Now, I have learned recently, this is a large set. I think there's like 800 cards. Now, I opened a Topps 1987 Topps, which was also BBCE. And at the end of that video, I expressed a sort of, disappointment that I didn't get like 5 Bo Jackson rookies. But I had to let it settle in that was not the fault of the box. That was the fault that the reality is, even though there's 36 packs, 15 cards per pack, you're dealing with a very, very large set. This isn't Series 1 or Series 2. This is the entire set. So the reality is you will not be getting a lot of duplication. In fact, the reality is you may not even get the card you're looking for. So I have to go into this with the idea of not pulling the Greg Maddux, Bo Jackson, Barry Bonds rookie, or the Mark McGwire card, or some of these other rookies that we'll be looking for. Is this junk wax? That is another question I have. When does junk wax begin? Now, if you're looking at Donruss, 1988 Donruss, without a doubt, is like the junkiest junk of all time. There is an argument for 1988 score. Unfortunately, it's first year. There's an argument for... you can't... 89 Donruss has King Griffey Jr. 90 Donruss has those terrible error cards. They just did such a horrible job with 1990 Donruss. It's almost one of those movies. It's so bad it's good. 91 Donruss, but I think that's when they started throwing in those really rare elite inserts, which pulling one of those has never happened. Anyways, 1987. To me, 87 is going to be that in between. I feel like 86 is not junk wax. I feel like 88 is absolutely junk wax. 87, I'm going to say it's like in between. And the price reflects that. And a box of 86 Donruss, which, by the way, I did 86 Donruss. Check it out. I pulled out the Canseco rookie. Spoiler alert. 86 Donruss, you paying a lot more than this 87. Probably double the price. But then you go for 88 Donruss. Oh, that's probably the cheapest box for sale of anything. Well, I'm looking at baseball and basketball. But if you want to get a really, really cheap box, I'm talking like 20 bucks today. Go on eBay. I bet you somewhere someone's got a box of 88 Donruss, 20 bucks. And it's not worth it. Anyways, let's go ahead and dig on in. So this is just like complete nostalgia for me, and hopefully for many of you out there too. I had a lot of 87 Donruss when I collected, and I started collecting, I think, in the year 1988. My very first card ever, and I shared this in the 87 Topps video, was a Rafael Palmeiro 1987 Topps rookie card that was given to me. That was my very first baseball card ever. I think I bought a few packs of 87 Donruss when I was a kid. And if I did, you know, they weren't 50 cents. Even at that point, I think, you know, you would have to pay $1 to maybe $3. But I ended up getting a bunch of 87 Donruss. Now, maybe some of them I paid for individually from dealers. I probably got some like as Christmas presents, but I just don't really remember opening but maybe 1 or 2 packs, let alone, of course, a whole box. I remember distinctly having the Mark McGwire card. I had the Barry Bonds card. So there were some nice cards that I don't have anymore, and it'll be fun to get those back. So here we are. Pack number 1. These are super easy to open, which I'd mentioned early on. That's why I wanted to get it BBC. And I think this is what, Roberto Clemente puzzle. That's why I wanted to get it authenticated, because these packs are so easy to reseal. So here we go. I'm expecting a lot of junk. Oh, that's cool, the Clemente puzzle. Diamond Kings, of course. You've always got Diamond Kings, Donruss Diamond Kings. Even in 1988 Donruss. I'm probably going to do an 88 Donruss video at some point, because I actually have not 1 but 2 cello boxes of 88 Donruss, and I got them stinking cheap. And I thought, yeah, why not? I mean, there's a couple rookies in there, and of course, I'm collecting all the Diamond Kings, so I was just like, why not? So you get one of these puzzle pieces. So Donruss in the 80s, I think, for the majority of the 80s and early 90s, every pack had a puzzle piece, and then most packs you would get a Diamond King card as well. It's not guaranteed, but in this pack we got 2. There we go. Pete Rose manager card. George Brett, nice. So this is a decent pack. Really, really poor. I would be very disappointed if I got Bo Jackson cut like that. I am in the process of putting together a 1980s rookie collection, all graded PSA 9. I'm just simply going out on eBay and just buying them graded as 9s. I'm not going for the 10s because I don't have that much money. And to tell you the truth, some of these cards are not easy to get graded as a 9, I can tell. I've not tried yet. I've not sent anything in the PSA, but look at that. There's no way in heck that is coming back as a 9. So I would hate to be buying up boxes, you know, spending 75, 80 bucks. And, you know, you get a Bo Jackson or Barry Bonds, and, you know, you look at the card and you're like, man, that's not going to grade better than like a 5. So I just spend the money and do that. Here we go. There's our first nice card, Mark McGwire. That's the card I had, and it's good to get it back. Good to get that back. Funny thing is, I'll probably sell it again, but it's good to have it in hand right now, just for a moment anyways. Pretty good shape, actually. It's probably better than the one I had. I mean, the one I had, I was a kid. I was, you know, moving it in and out of pages and sleeves and holders, and every time you did that, a little more damage. There's a Darren Daulton. I think that's his... Is that his rookie card? I can't remember what year was his first year. I know John Kruk. This is his rookie year. I'll put him down. I can't remember. So we're starting out pretty good. I think my favorite rookie card is going to be Bo Jackson. I like Barry Bonds, Greg Maddux. I remember one time the Greg Maddux rookie just was like off the charts, like 20 bucks or something in the old Beckett. There we go. There's a good Diamond Kings. Kirby Puckett. Very nice. Another Diamond Kings. And, of course, some of my favorite players in the 80s, Jose Canseco and Darryl Strawberry, were always fun to get. There's a few guys here that were pretty good. Like Vince Coleman. He was good, but I don't know. Some of you may say, no, put Vince down. Keep Vince. But, you know, to each their own. My argument will be that wasn't well centered, and your argument could be, yeah, find one that is. Frank Viola. There we go. Tony Gwynn. That's definitely a keeper. These are, gosh, these are cut horribly. I'm sorry, guys. I think my cards this whole time are like way up here. I need to fix this a little bit. Sorry about that. Hopefully they weren't all cut off. Alrighty. So this is what I'm talking about. 800 or so card set, maybe 7 something, and you know, there's gonna be a lot of junk. So it's gonna be tough just to get like one of, you know, cards like the Maddux and the Bonds. And when you got a pack like this, like that one right there, that makes it harder. That doesn't make it easy. Yeah, maybe who knows? Maybe a tampered box is actually better. They might put more. There we go. Tim Raines will hold on to that. Yeah, a lot of junk. Most of these are all cut the same. The top border. See, that's better. That's a well centered. Actually, the McGuire we got, all things considered, that McGuire is actually pretty good shape. Because a lot of these are centering is really awful. Left to right seems to be not too bad. It's that top to bottom centering that's really lousy. But, yeah, that's why, there we go, Will Clark rookie card. That's a great one. That's why, and a Rafael Palmeiro, very nice, in the same pack, two good rookies. That's why when these are 10s, they just skyrocket in price. It's unbelievable. Getting a 10 is just crazy ridiculous. And I wish I could, but it's just the difference in price between a 9 and a 10 is huge. Julio Franco, I think... No, that's not his rookie. I think he's like 1984, 83. Well, it should say back in 82. Okay. There we go. Bobby Bo. That's his rookie. Yep. Bobby Bonilla. Looks so young there. And an Eric Davis. Oh, that's not his rookie, but still, that's Eric Davis. I'm going to keep him. 1985 was his rookie year. I mentioned Darryl Strawberry and Jose Canseco, but oh, nice, Roger Clemens. Speaking of pitchers, I was also going to say Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan's always a favorite of mine to pull. Rick Mailer. He was my Little League coach. You may have heard me say that in some prior videos. Mike Scott. Down in West Palm Beach, Florida, I played Little League. I think the team's name at the time was Arrigo Dodge. And, yeah, he was one of the coaches. Got him to sign a couple cards. There we go, Doc Gooden. Darryl Strawberry, Diamond King. Oof, that centering. Speaking of left to right centering, that's awful. And top to bottom. So the other thing I told you guys I'm collecting are Diamond Kings. Well, that's the other thing I'm doing. I'm keeping them out of the packs. But like that Darryl Strawberry, that is not good eye candy. So the other thing I'm doing is collecting graded Diamond Kings. But again, graded as 9s. 10s are just too expensive for me. Especially when you got, 25 every year. That's really going to get expensive. There we go, Big Cat. Second year Andre Galarraga. A Barry Larkin rookie. Nice. Getting some nice rookies. Again, I'm not worried about sending any of these to PSA. It ain't happening. Be lucky. Even to get 9s, you'd be lucky. And like I said, the 9s are kind of affordable. So at that point, Brett Saberhagen, that's, yeah, 85 was his rookie year, I believe. Greg Walker, Diamond King. All right, still looking for the Greg Maddux. Still looking for the Barry Bonds. Oh, and the Bo Jackson, of course. Yeah, Bo Jackson. We really haven't hit the big rookies yet. There's a few others. Ruben Sierra, I think's in here. We said John Kruk. There we go. The Greg Maddux. Nice. Gosh, he looks so different with the hair and the mustache. Doesn't even look like him. Not the worst condition card by any means. A little off-center. Definitely would not grade a 10, but I'm no grader, but if I were to guess, I would say an 8, which at that point is the price of grading, would be my guess. This is a killer pack. Barry Bonds and Greg Maddux, arguably the two best rookies in this set in the same pack. This Barry Bonds is actually, there's a little chipping. That's actually a really nice condition. Killer pack right there, considering how many garbage packs we're going to get. So that really changed things around quickly, because now I think the only other big rookie we need is Barry Bonds. So, pretty nice. Reggie Jackson. Very nice. Fred Lynn, Diamond King. These Diamond Kings are severely off-centered. Steve Carlton. All right, so looking for the Barry Bonds. And like I said, Jose Canseco, Darryl Strawberry. I think there is a Jose Canseco Diamond King as well. Carlton Fisk. Kevin Mitchell rookie card. That's another rookie I'd forgotten about. Let's see. I feel like I don't know, I gotta go back and watch this video. I feel like I'm holding the cards like flat or there. Maybe I'm not, but if you're still watching, thank you. Because I feel like I got lazy and just not doing a good job with the camera angle this evening. Let's see if I can do better. Pete Incaviglia. Isn't that his rookie? I think that is, yeah. All right, lousy pack, but still got a Diamond King to add to the collection. If you're a Diamond King collector, I think it's doable, but it's still tough to try to get the whole set in a box, even though we're getting 1 or 2 per pack. There's Roger Clemens, very cool. Yeah, it's tough. I might go through them at the very end of the video and see. I just don't want to take too much time putting them in order and everything. But yeah, I feel like it's possible. But I feel like if you want to guarantee it, you know, get 2 boxes. There, rest in peace, Ryan Sandberg. Passed away recently. Wally Joyner, that's his rookie. Felt like he was a pretty big name in the beginning. I'll hold on to him. It's not going to kill me. But at that point, you know, if you're getting 2 boxes of these, 87 Donruss, you're looking minimum $150, and it's like you can just buy the whole set of Diamond Kings for raw on eBay. You know, I 20 bucks tops. You know, maybe even less. Jim Rice. There we go. The Conseco Diamond King. I thought, yeah, I figured there was one because I remember having it as a kid. So that's cool. So yeah, initially when I set out to start collecting again, and I had a lot to learn, of course, about packs. I went into it thinking, you know, oh, if you, because the grading wasn't a thing when I was a kid. I mean, I think it may have existed in small amounts, but it's not like it is today. Andre Dawson. And when I just started getting back into this, I had this, nice, we got the Darryl Strawberry. Very nice. I never had that card. I was just under the assumption, okay, to get a 10, you got to buy boxes because that's where the perfect condition are. I just assumed, you know, a 10 means it was fresh from a pack or a box. But it didn't take me long to realize that, excuse me, the reason 10s are priced so high. Because even though you get it out of a pack like we're doing, they're still off-centered. They're still banged up. That doesn't mean anything, really. It means you got a better chance of getting a 10, but don't mean anything. So, yeah, I initially set out thinking, yeah, I'll just buy a bunch of boxes, and that's how I can acquire a bunch of 10s. No. I learned very quickly that is not the case. And, you know, because it had been like 30 years since I opened a pack of cards, so I don't remember. Here's Ruben Sierra, rookie. Speaking of 10s, that is far from it with that centering. Dale Murphy. Yeah, so I learned pretty quickly that I am not going to be making my money back just buying these boxes and pulling out 10s left and right. And then I learned it's going to be more for just nostalgia. And if I get some 10s along the way, that's great. Get some money back so I can keep it going. But in the end, it's just fun nostalgia. Scratching the itch. There we go. That may be our first duplicate this whole video. Another Andres Galarraga. We are actually almost done with this box. It goes by pretty quickly when you have these easy to open wax. I'm hoping for the Bo Jackson. And if we don't, that's okay because I'm still planning to buy one. So the Jack Morris, hold on for 1 second. So the Jack Morris, yeah, I got right here. I ended up, so he's one of the Diamond Kings I purchased as a 9. Real cheap, 15 bucks. But if you compare, I don't know if you can see in the video, but the one that I'm holding here out of the pack, it's really rough on the edge, a lot of chipping and all. This one that's great as a 9, mind you, a 9, not a 10, it doesn't have any of that. All around the edge, very, very, very little right there, you can't even tell. Very well centered. Now, this one's not centered. Look left and right. There's more on the right. So, pack fresh. Centering's off, a lot of chipping. Here's one that's better condition, and it's not even a 10. It's a 9. So that gives you an idea of what you're dealing with. And like I said, it didn't take me long to realize, say, okay, there is a reason why 10s are valued, priced the way they are. And when people, Ozzie Smith, nice. I notice on Facebook, people are always, and I guess it's just people talking. I don't know sometimes if people are serious or they're just talking just to talk. But when I hear about junk wax and junk era and these cards are priceless and worthless and you see unopened boxes, I'm just like, no. I mean, there's value in there if you can get a 10. And they exist. They're very hard. There we go. There's our Nolan Ryan. And a Fred McGriff. Nice. And my thought is, no, it's not all complete worthless junk, because the challenge, just like finding a rare insert, again, this is all my opinion, but the way I see it is, the challenge is, just like finding a rare insert, finding a rare grade. And no one calls, well, I shouldn't say that, but usually if you have a product with some really very valuable, tough inserts, that drives the price up. So if you look at some of this stuff, like, hey, 1988 Donruss. Well, maybe that's a terrible example, because even PSA 10s aren't worth a whole lot. Okay, I picked the worst one. But let's say the 87 Donruss that I'm opening here and now. You can see none of these cards. I don't think I pull a single 10 out of this box. Okay, maybe there's one or two, but, you know, for the majority, no. So, 87 Donruss, like I said, I don't know if it's considered junk wax. It's, some people do. I consider it in between. But my point is, if you look at it from that point of view of searching for that 10, I think that's a David Cohn rookie. That is David Cohn rookie. Nice. Ricky Henderson, nice. If you're looking for that 10, that's kind of like finding the rare insert. Now, speaking of rare, I did not expect 2 Greg Maddux rookies. That's sweet. Let's leave that up right away. That's actually pretty nice shape. Actually, if it weren't for being slightly off-centered, that would be grade worthy, because there's like almost no chipping. The corners are nice. My corner up there is a little soft. But again, it's not a 10. And I showed you a 9 just a second ago, and you can see Benito Santiago rookie. Well, that's cool that we got, tell you what, I got enough space here. Let's spread these out. That's pretty cool that we got 2 Greg Maddux rookies. There might have been a time years ago that just paid back for the whole box. We only got 4 packs left. Ironically, I felt like the only rookie I got in the 87 Topps was Bo Jackson, and that's the one we're missing in this video. Really hoping to get that Bo Jackson. There's Mike Schmidt. But if we don't, Steve Garvey. If we don't, that's okay. That is okay. We got everyone else we were looking for. I don't have the Jose Canseco. I got the Diamond Kings. Oh, Don Mattingly, of course. Don Mattingly. Cal Ripken Jr. Yeah, where's Cal Ripken Jr.? And Wade Boggs. I got Tom Seaver. But like we said, we're not going to get them all. It's just impossible. Wait a second. Wait, did I skip something? I feel like I just skipped a whole bunch of cards. Dave Stewart. Okay, I don't know why I... 2 packs remaining. Let's go ahead and slide that box out of there. Got our last 2 packs. Is there a Barry Bonds? Probably not. But that's okay. Again, there's the Wade Boggs. Nice. Okay. John Kruk rookie. Nice. That's okay. That's in good shape. Some of these I may have to take a closer look at. It's not perfectly centered, but it's in good shape. Most of these, though, are not. But that one was pretty good shape. All right, last pack. Last pack. Would it be worth grading a John Kruk rookie? I mean, an argument can be said, you know, if anything, PSA 10 might be worth doing, but... Oh, we got another Barry Bonds. It's not Bo Jackson, but it's Barry Bonds again. I'll take it. Pretty good shape as well. A little off-centered, but it doesn't have the chipping. Pretty strong corners. It's not bad. That could grade as a 9 right there. But again, I still don't know if that's worth it. You really don't want to send in cards unless you think they're 10s. Unless they're very, very valuable cards, which, you know, that's not. Okay. We finished our video. We finished our box, I mean. The video's still going. Did pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm happier with this box than the 87 tops. And part of that is just got more rookies, got more Greg Maddux and Barry Bonds. As far as Diamond Kings, not going to go through all of them in order, but I'll show you just how many Diamond Kings there are, so you can get an idea, if you're a Diamond King collector, how many you can get in a box. But like I said, these Diamond Kings, a lot of them are really off-centered. If you're really into just say, hey, let me buy a box and get them all, that's the cheap way to go. It's not. People are selling these Diamond King sets raw. Keep that in mind, raw, not graded, for really fair prices online. I bought the 82 and 83 and 84 sets for like 25 bucks, 20 bucks each. And that's the entire set. In pretty good shape, too. So, I think, yeah, 26. I think there's 26 in the whole set. One of the cards we didn't get is like the checklist card. So we didn't even get the whole set because I consider that part of the set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and there may be 1 or 2 in there that are duplicates. So, like I said, you get most of the set, not all of it. If you want the whole set, and if you want to pull it from boxes, and you want to go that way, you're probably going to have to get 2 boxes to do it, would be my guess. Let's take a closer look at these. So here's the Mark McGwire. I'm going to get a little bit more light here. Yeah, you know, the edges are a little rough. Yeah, there's some chipping there at the bottom. Off-centered, really off-centered a little bit all around. 40, 60-ish. Left to right might be a little bit worse than that. So I wouldn't grade that. I don't even know if that would be a 9. And even at a 9, it's not a big deal. The Greg Maddux, this one's really, really off-centered. Left and right. Other than that, the corners are nice. Let's see if I can get some more. I'm not doing well tonight with cameras and lighting. Other than that Greg Maddux is nice. I don't even look at the back of the cards. I guess I should. But I know that's mostly the front that people are concerned. Then there's this one, which has a little bit more chipping. Centering isn't perfect. The top and bottom's off a little bit. Not bad, though. Again, I don't even know if it'd make a 9. This Barry Bonds is actually pretty well centered, but the top here, that edging has chipping, so that might get a 9. Again, I'm not an expert. This one's off-centered. Well, this one's okay. Hard to say. It doesn't have the chipping. It's a little soft up there. Again, a 9 would be the best we could get. Or if you just get lucky, you know. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I don't want to gamble like that. And I've got so many cards that I need to send the PSA, and I can't even decide yet. I need to do a video, and maybe you guys help me decide. I will do a video soon, though, on PSA, my PSA collection, and go through that and just show you what I got that I'm willing to send off, and why the cards that I have I'm willing to send off. Anyways, we'll get into that later. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully I did a good job with the camera angle. Like I said, I felt like I was like not showing you the cards very well. So if you stuck around to this point, I guess I did all right. Anyways, fun box opening. I liked it. Got a lot of great cards. Got duplicates of some good stuff that you want to get duplicates of. Got most of Diamond Kings. Got a lot of the Hall of Famers. Good box. No berry bonds, but that's okay. Go online and buy them. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.